You're listening to the Junto Podcast, a podcast about leadership, faith, community, and pretty much anything else. Episode 91, picking up on our conversation last week. He said, she said, I said, looking at real life issues in a marriage or relationship counseling session. And of course, you know, Barb is the one who walked us through this last week from her book, He Said, She Said, I Said. And Heather, I'm excited to dig into this week.
Yep, good stuff here. Last week, just to recap for a minute. Do we need a recap? Or do we not need a recap?
Well, yeah, I think they can go back. I would encourage you, just go back and listen to episode 90. That's exactly right.
Telling you.
We can't tell them what this is about, though. The book, He Said, She Said, I Said. Yeah.
So this uses real life relationship counseling issues that the couples in here are going through, and what he said, what she said, and then the I said is what Barb, as the counselor, says in response.
Absolutely.
To that. So moving forward, today we are talking about intimacy, first of all.
Wow.
And let me read you Barb's little tidbit here. In order to be intimate, one must be able to be vulnerable.
Wow.
Okay? Now, jumping right in, we're just going to go with what he said. I have this intimacy issue because I'm not able to open up to others easily, and it is affecting my relationship with my partner.
Wow.
Okay? This is what Barb said. Sometimes the intimacy problems we have in our relationships start with a personal issue one of the partners is experiencing. If one is unable to feel comfortable releasing and opening to the other, intimacy will be difficult to achieve.
Wow.
Yeah. If the intimacy in your relationship is not what you want it to be, a good place to start is examining your attitudes about interacting with others and perhaps even how you relate to life itself.
Wow, how you relate to life itself. So that was what she said. She said she feels like that was him. Okay, so he had intimacy issues, and then Barb comes
you can't
along.
Say it either.
Man, why can't we say intimate? Let's like intimacy. It's like it has to be this. Lord help us.
It's not like a vampire intimacy.
We're struggling intimacy. Y'all. This is wild, but it's just real life.
Yeah.
So he said he's struggling. He can't open up.
He can't open up easily to others, yes.
And Barb said basically that examine your attitudes, think about reasons. Okay, interesting. Right. And let's hear what she, the wife or girlfriend or whatever the case is, the she in this relationship, what she's saying.
Well, I didn't get that far because Barb still had more things to say.
Well, let's hear what Barb has to say. Come on down, Barb.
Okay. It says, during one session, I was talking with a client and commented on her positive attitude. She said she was one of those people lucky enough to view a glass as half full. So remember, we're talking about attitudes, perception, whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
Then she added, and I also know the waiter will be filling my glass again. Wow, I thought, what a way to live a life. If we all could harness that attitude, the quality of our days would be greatly increased. So when it comes to marriage or an intimate relationship, it's always best to focus on the good aspects to show the way up instead of the way down.
Well, I love that. She said the waiter is always going to fill the glass again. It makes me think of the Lord, how we, our spiritual waiter, the Lord, how he fills us when we walk with him. So that's good. And it looks like Barb had some good stuff to say as far as intimacy is concerned.
She did, yeah. It's all a matter of perspective, and the good news is you get to choose yours.
We get to choose.
Right?
We get to choose.
Now
you can choose.
You can choose. You have a choice. She said,
okay, here we go.
When we were first together, we made time for each other. Now there seems to be time for everything else except us. Right? So Barb said, there are many ways to define love and intimacy and many interpretations for each definition. One of the definitions I recently came across in this very short and simple phrase, love is time spent.
Love is time spent. Wow. And of course, we can do homework on love languages and all of those things, but hitting on what she said. Now, keep in mind, these are real life, and I'm sure in the counseling session, it was a little deeper. Barb is probably giving us the gist of what the couple said, but she essentially said, and I think this is very common in modern day living, right? Is she said, we used to have time together. We would spend, we would go on dates. We would do all this stuff. We would be together. Now there's no time for us. And it could be life in general, just life be lifing. Y'all know that. Mm-hmm. It could be kids are now involved in the equation. That's a big one that we've actually struggled with, finding the balance, because you want to be good parents, but you also want to be good spouses to the other. And sometimes our parental role leaves little room for intimate moments with the other one. So that's a challenge. And it could be a number of different things. Maybe just as we get older, we kind of not grow apart, but we are still growing as individuals and humans, discovering new things. So life be life, and I can absolutely relate. So
yeah, I think that like you said, as we do grow older, experience life, we change. Our personalities stay the same, but they change as well. I think they evolve based on the things that we go through, such and such. So it is very important to be intentional about spending time with your significant other, because that's how we get to know each other. And we can't let things get to a point where, well, I know everything about this person. I'm bored, basically, and I want to trade it in for something new.
Wow.
Like, I feel like when people say that, it's that like they gave up on continuing to get to know their spouse or partner.
Yeah.
And just wanting to take the easy way out. I want something new and fresh. So I'm just going to...
Absolutely. And you're forgetting your vow, for better or for worse. And if you're a believer, more than likely, if you're listening to this, you are. There's a covenant aspect to it as well.
There is.
And so I get that. Listen, if this is you, if this is one of your issues right now as a couple, whether you're married or dating in a serious relationship, just know that it happens. And if you're building your life on the foundation of Christ, then you have to be able to kind of navigate those things. So did Barb give a response to her, to what she said?
Yeah. Skimming through and wanted to hear some tidbits. So this is talking about examining your life, your hours. What are you doing with your time? Where is it spent? Because I'll tell you this, I can be into something and so focused that I look up or come to me like, okay, well, I just spent 30 minutes doing this, or I've been here for an hour doing this, and could have been doing this, that, and the other, and could have been with the kids, could have been fill in the blank, your spouse, time. Okay, look at the days and weeks in front of you. How much time have you allocated for being with each other? Don't expect it will just happen.
Wow,
because life can often get in the way, and the best of intentions don't manifest into actions. So plan a walk, plan a walk, a date, a time to talk, or an evening curled up watching a favorite old movie together. Whatever it is that the two of you like to do together, make sure to reserve time in your schedule for just the two of you. Give each other the most precious gift you can give, the gift of yourself and your time.
Wow, that's good. That's good. Now, keep in mind, Barb's a real-life relationship coach, and what you just heard are real-life complaints from people that she's coached or counseled. And so he was struggling being intimate. He doesn't really know how. Going back to that intimate part, we can't always assume that just because you're married, you know how to be intimate with your partner. And we're not talking just on a sexual nature. I mean, intimacy includes a close connection. It doesn't always have to allude to sexuality, of course, with us guys. Most of the time it is, and that's okay too. So ladies, you got to be flexible with that. And we'll see if Barb addresses anything like that. But as far as she is concerned, just finding the time to connect and then being intentional about your time. It's hard to do. It really is. But those are good tidbits from Barb. Thank you, Barbara.
Barb. Yeah,
you're doing great.
I think there's something different about having a like soul connection.
Yeah.
And then just being like surface level physical.
Amen.
To get, you know what I mean?
100%.
There's two different things.
But
should be one thing when, having physical intimacy, your soul should be connected at that time too. But they still are, I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah. No,
but does that make sense?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, it's not just a physical encounter,
that can't be all that it is.
Right.
Like, that's not lasting. That's not whatever.
Right.
Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. All right.
Very good.
One more. Okay. This is a he said. She knows how I feel about her. This goes back to
this is a whole new issue?
No, the same issue.
Oh, same issue. Got
this goes back to when you were saying having assumptions. We can't assume that all married couples know how to be intimate. And
am I on, or me and Barb tracking again?
You're tracking.
Let's see.
Okay, he says, I don't think flowers or a little note is going to make that big difference. That's what people do before they have a strong relationship together.
Wow.
Once you have it, it's just there. It's just there, but my wife doesn't seem to feel the same way.
Wow.
Barb said, suppose you just finished building a new house. You made it just the way you wanted it, paid close attention to detail, and you're finally ready to move in. Everything is perfect. So you move in, settle down, and are happy with everything. 5 years later, the luster seems to be gone. Floors are scratched. Paint is fading. Carpets are worn, and the pipes leak. Well, what did you expect? Without continuing attention and frequent maintenance, nothing stays perfect for long.
That's right.
So move on to your marriage. You courted each other. You got married. It was exciting. Had the honeymoon. Everything was perfect, right? Everybody loves that.
Yeah.
Everybody wants that.
Sure.
Okay. Fast forward 5 years. Is that perfection gone?
Wow. Is that perfection gone?
I think a lot of people want to stay stuck in that honeymoon phase where it's like, it's so fun. We're, going on these dates. We're really intentional about being together. And that's all we want to do is be together, and everything's great. But then, the more time you spend with someone, you get to know their flaws.
That's right.
And they get to know yours.
They reveal them.
Reveal them. It comes out. It's the way it is. And I think that they're like, oh, well, this is not what I expected. So I'm going to bounce, and I'm going to try to get that new feeling again.
Right.
Instead of like, okay, like you said, you're in a covenant relationship when you marry somebody.
Intimate, when you're intimate.
Right.
Lord.
So it's work. You have to put in the work. You have to continue to get to know each other.
It's work. I mean, it's absolute work, and it's a process as well. And so I think the fact that these couples are doing this counseling, though, is a positive sign.
Oh, yeah.
Never be afraid or ashamed to go to counseling. That means you care enough about your relationship, or if it's something outside of a relationship, whatever it is that you're going to counseling for, that means you care enough that you want to fix it, that you're actually trying to do something. So that's positive that they're going to counseling, that they're sharing their thoughts and trying to work through some of that stuff. That's step one. That's step one.
You got to start somewhere.
Yep.
But intimacy is about giving ongoing attention and maintenance to your relationship, much the way you would do for anything you love, right?
Interesting, yeah.
I mean, there's always room for improvement. We always have to show each other grace for things. So the tender feelings you experienced during dating, your wedding, and honeymoon often fade into memories. Life has moved on, as it always does. And if you haven't done much to maintain what you had, intimacy and feelings of connection are probably just distant memories as well.
That's right. Wow.
You see these folks where like they're looking and the grass looks greener on the other side. They're like, I want to have that again. I want to start over. And gosh, there's every relationship has. But
you know what I always think of too? It's crazy because you've heard this. People, I don't know where it comes. It's just a saying, but you got to know, like for a guy, let's say, the saying is basically this, is that just remember, if you're looking at somebody else's woman, just know there's somebody going to be looking at yours.
That's right.
And it's not that they're better. It's just that your eyes, you have viewed them differently. And so I always want to, we want to view our spouses almost through the lens of someone else. If we did that, we would have a fresh perspective of them and see them in a way. Because guys, and this is the same for women too.
Yeah.
If you're looking at somebody else's man, just know they're going to be other women looking at yours. You see what I'm saying?
Somebody looking at my man?
Probably. No, really? I'm just kidding.
Do I need to mark the territory?
Y'all let me know if y'all are caught. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Number is 999.
You're right.
Stupido.
Right.
Just kidding.
But no, I'm just saying.
It's true.
It's part of that we, it's not that we are unattractive or less attractive. It's just that Familiarity.
And the little annoyances pick at you.
She's annoyed.
And so, no, I'm just saying there's things I'm sure you're annoyed every now and then with me.
Sure.
Not too often.
Yeah, every day. But not too often. Just every day.
Yeah, it affects it.
Good deal.
It all affects it.
It does.
So,
it's all tied together.
So this is the thing. Begin to think about ways to maintain your marriage or relationship. List things you could do on a daily basis to make it happen.
Yeah.
By continuing to put time and energy into your relationship, you will continue to build and maintain an intimate connection that will bring continued happiness.
Wow. Continued.
And contentment.
Continued and
to both
contentment.
Of you.
Wow.
I feel like that lack of contentment thing is a marriage killer.
Yeah, it's true.
People just want to be happy. They want to feel good. And when it doesn't feel good, they going to want to find it somewhere else instead of put the time in. And
that's the difference between living purely out of your emotion and living in a mature way. Mm-hmm. If everything's all emotional, it's all about how I feel. Life sucks right now. It's all about how I feel, and I feel bad. And it's, that's immaturity. That is just straight up immaturity.
Yeah.
And so marriage goes beyond feeling, because you've already made the covenant. You've already made the marriage contract. And so it's beyond how you feel. You got to know that you want to try to work through it regardless. Yeah. Now, there are biblical cases for divorce. We're not going to get into any of those. That's not what this is about. We're just talking about day-to-day marriage, living, all of the standard things. And so, yeah.
Correct.
What else Barb got to say? What's another issue from another couple? Or
hold on. Let me give these 6 things.
6? Oh, she's got 6.
And then, 6. Well, it's easy to say, okay, you have to be intentional about your time. Like, okay, how do you do that?
Yeah.
Give us some help.
Okay.
So, number 1, make dating a habit for creating time to rediscover and focus on each other.
I like.
Number 2, think outside the box for dating ideas. You don't have to go all crazy. I think just having the thought and wanting to plan and saying, I want to do something. And I don't think you have to go all be extravagant.
Right. I agree.
So
just being together, man.
That's it. But being intentional and letting the other one know that you are being intentional.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's the key.
That's the key.
It could be anything. Let's go sit outside on the back patio. Let's make the kids stay in the house.
Right.
Let's go sit out and talk, chill, have some hang time.
That's it.
Right?
That's it.
You don't have to go all out.
That's right.
Number 3, every now and then you can.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Works both ways.
It's really important to plan talking points. Stay away from discussing finances, work, kids, household problems.
Like during the date.
Gosh.
You mean
that's
like
hard.
Yeah.
That's hard. Like focus on talking about each other, your positive things.
That's it. That's right.
Because when you bring all the other things that you're trying to leave behind in that moment, when you bring them in, it's just not going to be an enjoyable time.
No, I agree.
You gotta, yeah. Number 4, it goes without saying, leave the kids at home. Oh, I just said that.
Yeah.
5, add a little spice, mystery, something totally unexpected to your date.
I'm Latino. We're all about spice. We want to be intimate. Spicy.
Yeah, you're spicy. Number 6,
caliente.
Have fun and love the one you're with.
Love the one you're with.
Oh my gosh, yes. I knew you were going to do that.
Mm-hmm. See, she knew.
All right, last thing. I'm summing up intimacy, and then we're moving on.
Here we go.
Intimacy is about shared experiences, laughter, and connection. It's up to the 2 of you to create those moments and opportunities together.
Wow. Cool.
It's up to.
I agree.
Yeah. This intimacy one's it's got quite a few.
Pretty good.
But we have to move on.
We got to move on because there's other issues. We want to hear from other couples and see. We want to get the tea. We want to know, why did you go see Barb? Tell us, why did you go see Barb?
Why did you go see Barb? Gosh, this intimacy is
it's long, isn't it? And there's probably more examples. That's probably why that,
There are ways of saying I love you and letting someone know I love you, all those different things. So y'all go get the book so you can go deeper into this.
It's short too, guys. It really is a small book.
It is not bad. All right, next, acceptance. Okay.
Acceptance.
Barb says, acceptance, we all want and need it, so let's give it.
I like it.
We want to be accepted. So she said, I want everything to be equally shared, the kids, the house, and life in general.
So this is a wife or somebody who's seeing Barb. Okay.
Yep. I don't want to have to ask every time something needs done. He lives here too. Why do I have to be in charge of our entire domestic world?
Dang.
So Barb said, recently I was talking with a couple about progress made since they began counseling. Both agreed they were doing better. They reported significant improvement communicating. Remember, we talked about communication.
Correct.
But the wife continued to talk about her need for her husband to take on more family duties and responsibilities. Wanted him to show more initiative, yada, yada, yada. So the differences between men and women are so numerous. There's this author, this other book, John Gray, has written a whole series of books on this subject.
Not John Grisham, guys.
Not John
Gray.
Grisham. The difference between men and women. There's so many.
Wow, maybe we should check that out.
Yeah.
Do a podcast
that'll
about
be our
it.
next one. And while we can lament and complain about these differences as long as the world exists, they aren't going to change.
Interesting.
Just because we don't like them, it's not going to change. We're all different, right? So, from your perspective, as the male on that, and I know you work outside of the home, which I do too, but just not on the same level. Mm-hmm. And like coming home and like the household duties, I know we're pretty good about sharing those duties, I would say, in the home.
Yeah.
With the kids, all those things. Right?
Yeah, I think there's probably things you do more of in the house. I mean, I feel like sometimes that's equaled out though, like in the summer and spring. Sometimes I'm doing more of the outside yard work and stuff and things of that nature. So I think it's because part of us, we're naturally inclined just to do stuff because of our makeup. Like I'm male. Like there are going to be some things that just by nature, by God's design, there's just going to be some things that I'm drawn to or more naturally inclined to do.
Right.
And so that's no excuse. I think women have a built-in, just like you got that maternal instinct. Mm-hmm. I think women they're more in tune with the domestic side. That it's a maternal instinct, taking care of the home, making sure things are good, making sure things are clean, things of that nature. It's not to say that guys can't do it or shouldn't do it. I'm just saying, I think there's something that is built in, and you can't compete with what God has put on the inside of you. Like it's just what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that's my perspective. Mm-hmm. Yes, we should share the load. Everyone should, but
and that looks different for all couples.
It looks different. That's it.
House. So what you can do as a couple is recognize the differences, like you just said, between the two of you. Play to those strengths.
Are me and Barb?
You and Barb.
Man, I swear,
one and the same.
I tell you what, she has validated the counseling training I had. No, I'm not kidding.
Oh, my
Barb
goodness.
thank you, Barb. If you're listening to this, I want you to know that the advice we get, it's legit, guys.
Barb said it. She confirmed it. If you're better at being in charge, then that's your strength. Your mate might be better at keeping the cars running, mowing the lawn, budgeting your finances, or simply being
mowing the lawn. I just said that. Wow.
Hey,
guys,
I mow too.
We're both going into this blind, so we haven't read any of this. So when she's reading that, that's for the first time for us. So it's crazy that I just used that exact example.
You did.
And then Barb, man.
Yeah. I did want to point out though that I do mow.
She does. Absolutely. She does.
In the summer.
She does.
We share that. You do the bulk with all the edging and the cutting.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
And honestly, she has, but I think last year you did it more than ever just because we have been so busy. We've been so busy, and it's almost like so one doesn't die. You know what I'm saying? Like we're learning to share because it's just too much for one person. It's too much.
As Samwise Gamgee said.
Yeah. Didn't I help you fold last night, laundry, by the way? Out of the dryer?
Yeah, we did. We did that together.
See? Mm-hmm. That was date night, by the way.
Yeah. It went much quicker than it typically does. That was good. Yes. So all
so
of
who
those
said that,
things.
by the way? That was
Barb said that.
Well, but she's the one who had the complaint, the wife, right? She said, he needs to share the load. He needs to step up. I shouldn't have to say every time something needs to be done. He should just get up and do it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we are from there.
Right. We're all different. Fighting those differences is energy wasted, while accepting the other exactly as he or she is will allow your life together to flow smoothly.
Wow.
There's some things that just aren't going to be. They're not going to change. They're not. So you're going to have to work together, find that balance, find what works, find a flow that is smooth.
And you cannot let bitterness develop.
Especially over stuff like that.
You can't, because if you're sitting there doing the dishes and you're just looking over and your husband on the couch, you can easily let bitterness, look at this little punk just sitting there, and here I am doing the dishes, doing the laundry, doing everything, chicken head. Okay, what did he say? We heard what she said.
Okay, he said.
I want to hear what he said,
Women need love and men need respect. It's as simple as that.
Wait, he said that?
That's what he said.
So say it again.
Okay. Women need love, men need respect. It's as simple as that. Oh my gosh,
that is true. That is so true.
But that's what he said.
Is that all he said? Is there more?
That was all he said.
Let me break that down. Let me give that is true. I think because of our DNA, I think men do value respect almost over, not saying we don't want to be loved, but yeah, definitely we want to be respected, especially in our own houses. So I could confirm that. Let's see how Barb responded.
Well, I just wanted to point out the last thing he said. It's as simple as that.
It's as simple.
I don't think anything is as simple.
Well, he's probably,
that.
You got to think in counseling sessions, guys, sometimes it's heated. Sometimes it's, you're putting feelings out there and it's normally you're in counseling because things are bad. Let's just be honest.
Right.
And so when you go to counseling, you're letting it all out. I feel like for him, it's easy to read that, but he's probably listen, he's probably pissed. Let's just be honest. He's men want to be respected. It's that simple. And of course, you're pointing out.
Maybe that shows, I'm just pointing out maybe the attitude.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think you're right. Expound on that though, because you were going somewhere. I'm sorry.
Barb said, love is the ability and willingness to allow those that you care for to be what they choose for themselves without any insistence that they satisfy you. Now, that was a quote by Wayne Dyer.
Oh, okay.
So in order to have a successful relationship, couples must accept each other for whom and what they are. Ooh.
This is what Barb said?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's difficult. This is the essence of both love and respect.
Ah.
Okay?
Yeah.
There truly is no difference.
Interesting.
Do I need to read that again?
Yeah, for the viewers, for the listeners.
Okay.
And for me, because I'm still processing that too.
Couples must accept each other for whom and what they are. I can't talk today. This is the essence of both love and respect. There truly is no difference. So I think Barb is saying here that both men and women, they both want love. They both want respect. Love is showing respect. Respect is showing love. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. It does.
So the process must start with respecting and loving who each of you are. If you aren't comfortable accepting yourselves, how can you expect someone to return the favor?
I just preached a whole message on self today. Mm-hmm. It's true. Wow. Okay.
Yep. Once you cherish your personal uniqueness, it is easier to respect and accept the differences in others. When you appreciate each other's shortcomings, wants, and all, you open yourselves to more readily understanding the quirks, faults, and idiosyncrasies of those you love.
There you go.
Goodness. It's important to treat lovers as friends, respecting the boundaries of the relationship.
Nice. Yeah, so it's complex, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there. Self-love, learning to accept yourself, love yourself, and carrying that over into your spouse, and love and respect. And another big thing I got out of that too is just that we are different. There are differences between male and female. There are supposed to be differences between male and female. And relationships work best when you're both cool with who you are and you're cool with your spouse. Can things be better? Can guys help more around the house? Absolutely, things of that nature. But things flow better. The house flows. It's a peaceful household when you can accept that and you're not looking bitterly at your significant other. So
right, and looking at their shortcomings and just, and I go back to, of course, where our faith as believers, and like you preached your message today of knowing who you are, you're a child of God, and in this case, seeing your spouse as that as well.
Amen.
Through that lens of knowing exactly who they are and loving and respecting them because of it, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
I think we have to.
Amen.
Otherwise, we might lose it. No.
Good stuff.
All
okay,
right.
we got time for one more.
One more he said, she said, or one more?
No, let's do a one more he said, she said.
Okay.
We want tea. I want the tea. Give us some tea, man. Is this the same category?
Yeah, except
do we want to stay in the same category? Let's go to let's go to the last category and then a new he said, she said. We want the tea.
Okay,
because we kind of.
So let me tell you this. I think, yeah. We got two more after this. The next one is friendship. Friendship.
What is the last one? Curious.
He's curious, y'all. The last one
because we got time for
love.
one more. I want to see.
The last one is love.
What do you think is most?
Let me just read what friendship is, and then we can skip to love and.
Okay, I want tea though. I want tea. I want tea. Yeah.
Listening and providing feedback without judgment are indicators of true friendship.
Okay.
She said, I want him to be my best friend as well as my husband and lover, but he just doesn't get that.
Huh. Why would he not want that? Okay, so, oh gosh. Okay, it took me a second, but now some things come to mind. I do know married couples that are like married, but it's like everything they do is separate. It's like they have two separate lives.
Yeah.
Like
they like doing completely different things.
Yeah, like they don't do much together. Of course, they're married and maybe they do stuff for the kids, but okay, so I get that. So she's wanting a little more. She's like, I know you're my husband, but dang, I want you to be my best friend. Like, I want to hang out with you. I want to go, okay.
Just daily. Like if your relationship excludes day-to-day camaraderie, it's not complete. You are missing a lot.
So before you get into what Barb said, let's hear what he said to that. And then we'll hear what Barb said.
His was, shouldn't a person feel supported by his or her mate? I don't feel like we're on the same team. In fact, I don't know if we're even in the same game.
Wow.
Right.
Gosh. I don't even know if we play in the same game. Come on. Bro, y'all got to at least be playing the same game. Be on the same team.
Gotta be.
At least be on opposite teams but be in the same game. Well, you got to work. You got to work together towards something, man. God.
You got to.
And
you
so
really do.
I just want to say real quick, and then we'll let Barb do her thing. This is so much more common than you would like.
Yeah.
It's just so common. It's just crazy. Marriages and people around, you get married young. Maybe some people even get married later in life, and it's like, it's crazy, but this is so much more common than we would think. It just marriages not being.
It really is. It's more of a like we're partners. We've got a house together.
Right.
We got kids. We're trying to raise together. We both work. That's about it.
Yeah. Right.
Like that's sad. That's empty. Feel empty. Having a healthy relationship requires interacting on a variety of levels as lovers, partners, friends, and yes, even teammates. To keep all interactions strong and vibrant, try having a weekly conversation to assess where you're going individually and together. Invest the energy into your relationship, your partner.
I like that.
That you do into other parts of your life. Like you got a great job because you work hard. Hobbies, you play on a team and you're amazing. Like you back your teammates up.
Yeah.
Like you have to keep that same perspective with
you do, man.
Your spouse.
Well, right? I love that. One last thing from Barb, and then I think that'll conclude it. I think we've hit the highlights of the book.
I didn't go into love yet.
I know, it's cool. Are we going to do love?
Yeah, I think we have to.
Do love real quick.
Love is all around us if we open our hearts to let it in. He said, she says, I don't let her know that I love her often enough. I'm not sure I even know what she means. Barb said, telling someone you love him or her is based on your personal awareness and comfort. Some of us are better at words. Some are better at gestures or gifts.
That's true.
Whatever our ways or means, telling our loved ones we care about them will make them feel treasured.
And lastly, what did she say? Who said? Was that what he said?
That was Barb. That was he said.
Okay.
You want to hear what she said?
Yeah. Oh, we got to hear both sides. I can't just hear one side.
Well, they're not always a reaction of the same thing.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
Here's, sure, I love him as a person, but I'm just not in love with him anymore.
Wow. Ooh, that's a hard pill to swallow, dude.
And And Barb said, I often hear this comment from female clients. When asked to explain, this is often what I hear.
From female clients.
I love him because he's such a good father. He has good family values, provides for us well.
That's all they want us for.
And spends quality time with our children.
He provides for us well. Man, I'm getting mad just listening to this.
Watch what you say.
Okay, go ahead.
But I am not in love with him. So I ask, were you in love with him once? ? There. The answer usually follows, oh, of course. When we were dating and planning our wedding, it was great. We were inseparable, always had time for each other, shared common interests, and I couldn't wait to see him. So that goes back to like being on the same team, doing things together.
Keep in mind, she said she hears this mostly from females. That's interesting. There's something to note there. Mm-hmm. Ladies, come on now. What's going on? Mm-hmm. Y'all want to be swept off your feet again? What's going on?
If you make an effort to remember what got you together in the first place, if you take time to reminisce about your beginnings, if you make time to date and be alone to reconnect, then the being in love feeling can return.
Wow.
There's hope. It may not look the same, but it can feel the same, and that's what makes it worthwhile.
Come on. Fantastic.
Right?
Man, we got through all 7 issues listed in this book.
We did.
Man, I hope this has been a blessing and encouragement to you guys. If you want to learn more or read that book, get the book. There's more explanations from Barb in there. And of course, we always love doing podcasts like this where we're talking about relationship and go through our episodes, and we've got marriage tips. We've got other things. So be sure and go through the catalog there. And I feel like me and Barb are close. Like I feel like we could run a counseling practice together. So Barb has been a blessing. So final thoughts?
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to read this one final said
Very
from
good.
Barb, okay?
Come on, Barb.
Nothing worth anything ever comes easy.
Wow.
It is now up to you to assess how important your relationship is to you. And if it comes out as number 1, go for it with all you have.
Yeah.
I wish you love, life, happiness, and all your future endeavors with this special someone in your life.
Dang. Thank you, Barb. That was sweet. We appreciate
it.
You've been a big blessing to us. Hope this has been an encouragement to you. And as always, thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Junto Podcast. That's right, the Together Podcast. We'll see you next time. Be blessed. Thank you for listening to the Junto Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. You can find our link to YouTube and social media at juntopodcast.com. Remember to subscribe, like, and follow. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.